Hey everybody, peace, peace, peace. Everybody, good afternoon. To everybody. Um, I have something I want to talk to you guys about. Of course, I know that's maybe my um maybe a tick of mine that every time I get around y'all, I'm like, yo, I got something to say to y'all. But this time, man, I feel like this thing is so important that I have to lay out things in a certain way. So I'm going to try to keep this under 12 minutes, but there are so many things to be said in this moment that I feel as if this is super important to all Knicks conversations. And I'm going to try to say it in a way or lay it out in a way that doesn't sound like all of the fluffy Knicks content that we normally get. So salute to my people, salute everybody, salute to Wiz and Julu in the building, DSJ is in the building, Travel Vibes. What's good? I see you, Mr. Vince. As usual, it's a pleasure. So I'm gonna start off by saying this. In a league that has progressively gotten more offense oriented, where more NBA players now are scoring 30 points a game, where if a team doesn't score 120 points a game in order to win, the Knicks may have chosen to go in an opposite direction. The Knicks have chosen to go in an opposite direction. Can the Knicks score? Absolutely. Do the Knicks have two or three guys, maybe four guys that can absolutely go out and get a bucket? Absolutely. But in a league that values offense from every position, centers taking other centers off the dribble, centers pulling up from three, point guards in the paint, scoring 30 points a game, the slightest bump, nudge, the whistles being called, the flopping all over the place, the accidental swipe at somebody's head gets a potential flagrant foul call. The way the defense is neutralized, guarding these super athletic, super tall, super long, super skilled NBA players has given the advantage to the offense. Or so you think. Or so you think. Shout out to Jay Boogie. Jay Boogie in the building. Probably somewhere out there saving the world. Corey Lee is in the building. In a league where if you see 150 points in a night, it doesn't shock you. The offense is so far ahead of defense that a team can score 120 points in a night and you not bat an eyelash. You're like, okay, we just need to score 130. Your team may lose 135 to 120. And instead of saying we need more defense, teams are saying, no, we need to double that. We need our seventh, eighth, and ninth man to get us buckets. This is the face of the new NBA. This is the face of the new NBA, right? Or is it? The Knicks have chosen a different path. The Knicks have chosen a different path. The Knicks in an offensive era, the Knicks in an offensive era have chosen defense. The Knicks in this era have chosen play hard every second of every game. The Knicks have a watershed moment coming up on ABC against the Lakers, right? The Knicks have a moment. The Knicks have a moment. That's a point down the road, right? That's a point down the road. In a league of offense, the Knicks have an elite defender. And what I want to say to you is in a league of offense where offense is king, the Knicks have an elite defender. And for those that don't know what an elite defender is, right? If you don't know what an elite defender is, think about those Chicago Bulls teams that had Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen roaming the perimeter, the elite perimeter defense of those teams. Think about the Detroit Pistons that had an elite perimeter defender in Dennis Rodman. Sure, the bad boys were tough. They were tough, but the Pistons had two elite perimeter defenders in Joe Dumars and Dennis Rodman. Think about your San Antonio Spurs dynasty or the San Antonio Spurs dynasty that had elite defenders on that team in Bruce Bowen and Tim Duncan. Think about the Golden State Warriors that had elite defenders in Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, and Draymond Green. And think about this team that we're discussing. The Knicks have an OG Anunoby in an offensive era where it's all about buckets. It's all about, you hear terms like pick and roll, pace of play, 3-point shooting, all those things. And then think about one player that can neutralize all of those things. The Knicks have one player that can legit neutralize all of those things. And the irony for those that don't think that OG Anunoby is a difference maker or the difference maker, think about how we lost our all-star power forward due to injury, and the beat goes on. What I'm here to tell everybody, I just want to start spreading the news, right? I want to start spreading the news about the impact of rare perimeter defenders in an offensive league. We all know that in today's NBA, there are what you call defenders, right? And then there are what we call defenders, right? For example, Patrick Beverly is a defender. Okay. OG Anunoby is locked down defensively, right? There are guys that are defenders, and then there are guys that are defenders. And what the Knicks are looking to do is establish an identity for the next 10 to 12 seasons. Now, will all the players be here for those 10 to 12? No. Will all the coaches be here for that 10 to 12? No. Will all the executives be here for that 10 to 12? No. But you will be here. You, the fan, will be here for these next 10 to 12 seasons of this culture of playing absolutely balls to the wall for every second of every game of every season for the next 10 to 12 years. So, and the trade deadline is coming up. The trade deadline is coming up. And I think the Knicks, and this is me speculating, right? This is me speculating. This is me guessing. This is me guessing. But I am guessing that this front office sees this next 10 to 12 year window as the Knicks' opportunity to become dynastic. And how you do that is make the moves when the moves are there to be made. And right now, the move that is there to be made, it feels like, is DeJounte Murray. And I go back and forth on the DeJounte Murray thing because my preference is I prefer the San Antonio DeJounte Murray. But recently, we've seen the Atlanta Hawks version, all around great passer, great scorer, great rebounding DeJounte Murray. But what I didn't give any thought to, and I think I want to ask you guys to give some thought to this. Can Tom Thibodeau rekindle the defensive monster in DeJounte Murray that existed in San Antonio? Can Tom Thibodeau rekindle the defensive monster in DeJounte Murray? Is it worth a shot? I'm saying to you that I think it's absolutely worth a shot. It's absolutely worth a shot. Can Tom Thibodeau rekindle the monster in DeJounte Murray? Is it worth a shot? Absolutely, it's worth a shot. If the Knicks have a San Antonio defensive DeJounte Murray and this version of OG Anunoby, then the Knicks can be competitive with any team in the NBA on any night, in any place, at any time. And the reason why I say that is if you look at remember the look on Jamal Murray's face when he could not get to where he wanted to go against OG Anunoby. Remember the look on DeJounte Murray's face where he could not manipulate a defense. The look on Jokic's face when he realized he was not the only tough guy on the floor. As a Knicks fan, when you saw the Knicks defensively tear apart the best offense in the NBA, the reigning NBA champs, beat them at their game, beat them so bad that they waved the white towel at the end of the third quarter. There was 12 NBA minutes left to go in the game, and the defending champs waved the towel. OG Anunoby in NBA years is a baby. DeJounte Murray in NBA years is a baby. Deuce McBride in NBA years is a baby. Mitchell Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein, Precious Achiuwa, all of these guys are at that early second contract stage. All of these guys, you have at least 5 or 6 more great seasons of what they have to offer. At least 5 or 6 great years left of them playing at their peak. And Tom Thibodeau pressing the buttons. Tom Thibodeau pressing the buttons looks like the mastermind of it all. The smile on Tom Thibodeau's face while seeing all of this come together. Tom Thibodeau has a smile on his face like Murdoch from the A-Team. The only thing Tom Thibodeau needs right now is a cigar to look like the mastermind. And you, the Knicks fan, are the recipient of all the greatness that soon come. And as I thought about saying this to everybody, my main question is, or one of my main questions is, how great can this defense be? What's the high watermark for this defense? That's one question. And the other question is, where does Julius Randle fit in all of this? Where Randle fits is easy. All Randle has to be is the best version of himself on a nightly basis. Don't overreach and try to be something that you are not. Right? Julius Randle doesn't have to prove to the NBA that he's a star in the NBA. We know how great Randle is. The version of Randle that we need is at the end of great defense, secure rebounds in the possession. Because regardless of how great of a defense you play, if you don't get the rebound, you're still on defense. We need a 19.12 rebound, 19.13, 14 rebound Randall. We need Ben Wallace-like numbers from Julius Randle. And we think he can do that. We don't need 3-point shooting Randall. We don't need 8 3-pointers a game Randall. Right? We don't need 27 shots a game Randall. Right? All we need is Randall rebounding at a high rate, playing close to the rim, punishing teams on the inside Randall. Right? And for those that think this is an unreasonable expectation, it is absolutely not. It is absolutely the new normal for the New York Knicks. And how I relate this, Jalen Brunson coming from the Dallas Mavericks was a mid-range assassin, crafty ball handling scorer close to the rim. You know what Jalen Brunson is right now? One of the best 3-point shooting guards in the NBA for more than a year and a half, on high volume and confident. So to ask an NBA player to do most of what they used to do and a little something different is really not that much of a task when you are talking about talented players. When you go to Randall and say, Randall, we need more boards. Randall, listen, we're going to get DeJounte Murray or another defensive-minded guard, and Tibbs is going to coach them up like he did. He's going to unleash the monster just like he did with OG Anunoby, right? And what we need for you to do is hit the glass. We need 12, 13, whatever amount of rebounds that you can get. And we need for you to finish down low, get other bigs in foul trouble. And I know I said I was going to try to keep this short, y'all. I'm sorry. I have notes on my phone. I have notes on my phone. I was taking notes or whatever. And so, I'm kind of getting away from the notes a little bit. But I just wanted to talk to you guys about that. My other thing too, really quickly, is regardless what the front office does at or before the trade deadline, I think we are at a point where we can trust what the front office has in mind. Right? No more thoughts of, they're just kicking a can down the road. Right? That's my biggest thing. My biggest fear is that a front office kicks the can down the road. That's my fear. I'm from corporate America. I understand business. I know when an entity is kicking the can down the road, right? I understand that. And generally what happens when you kick the can down the road, at some point you run out of kicks. At some point you run out of kicks and you have to make a decision, and are you prepared to make that decision or not? That's why I fear kicking the can down the road. Because at some point, a decision has to be made. So should we trust the front office and what they're doing? Probably. Should we take the NBA landscape for granted? No. No, of course not. Of course not. Because the other 29 other front offices have smart people in them as well. The Knicks are putting together a championship level defense. And the NBA is on notice. The Knicks are about 5 games away from being the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference in February. The Knicks are about 5 or 6 games away from being the best team in the NBA. If that doesn't mean anything to you, then buckle up your seatbelt. It's going to be a crazy ride. If these words don't stir up any kind of action or reaction to hearing the Knicks may be the best team in the NBA, then buckle up. Because you are about to see something great. 27 teams in the NBA are embracing this all-in on offense approach. And the Knicks are going in the opposite direction. The Knicks are going in the opposite direction. And they just might dominate by doing so. They just may put together a product that will have you excited for your franchise in June. Defense travels. Defense and rebounding effort, they all travel. Defense and rebounding, they travel. You don't have to worry about, is your defense going to be okay in the Boston Garden? Defense travels. You don't have to worry about your defense in the Fiserv Forum. Defense travels. Rebounding travels. You may not hit every shot that you want. Offense comes and goes during the course of a game. Defense is steady. And one last thing before I get out of here, right? One last thing before I get out of here. Let me see if I can. Man, this system is so glitchy. Y'all. I'm sorry. So Justo11, thank you for the generous contribution. Justo says balance, Unc. They finally made a team with balance. No, they're going all in on defense, bro. They're going all in on defense, and they're gonna have a little balance, but trust, what is gonna lead the day is playing hard and defense, and the offense will be there. The offense will be there. But one thing before I get out of here, I want to thank everybody for continuing to support the channel, and these mini dialogues that I do with you guys. These things are fun. I get to see you guys is comments and all of that stuff. What I'm gonna say, everybody, is buckle up your seatbelts. Buckle up your seatbelts. Right? We just entered the amusement park. We have not been on any rides yet. Right? Get ready. Get ready for the race to June. Right? Get ready for this race, February 1st through June. Prepare yourself. You're going to see some things that you have not seen before or in a very, very long time. Thank you for sharing part of y'all afternoons with me. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. I know I said I was going to try to keep it to 12 minutes. It's at like 29 minutes. Peace, everybody.